Young Athlete of the Day. Now, tonight's newsmaker. A Nova Scotia couple is pushing for better access to a program that helps pay travel expenses for cancer patients. As it stands, only families making less than $15,720 qualify. Barbara Stead-Coyle is the CEO of the Canadian Cancer Society here in Nova Scotia. Can you give us a sense of how common it is, people requiring assistance to get cancer treatment?
Well, I can tell you that there is a national study out that says that over 90% of all people diagnosed with cancer will face some financial hardship. What that translates into for Nova Scotians, I can't say exactly, but the average newly diagnosed patient will have to travel approximately 20 times to an urban center for some sort of care, follow-up, doctor's appointments, treatment courses, etc. So you imagine if you live in Yarmouth, for example, and you have to drive back and forth 20 times, we all know what it costs to fill a tank of gas. It's not cheap. So
when you hear these stories of people saying, listen, I don't make very much money and yet I don't qualify, how do you feel about that?
Well, angry, of course. And that's why we're putting the push on the government and asking them to really look at this. This is a community that is in desperate need of help. Nobody should have to make the choice between feeding their families, putting oil in their oil tanks, or saving their life with cancer treatment.
But that's the decision they're making.
But that is the decision. We know about, anecdotally, about 5% of people will choose not to have their cancer treatments because they don't want to put their family through that kind of hardship. It's a choice no family should have to make.
It's at about, what, $15,720 now, the threshold.
Correct.
Where do you think it should be?
About 25 would bring it in line with similar programming in the province. So 25,000 we think is a reasonable threshold. We know that last year there was approximately $100,000 in the budget for the BTO program that wasn't spent, and it wasn't spent because people couldn't qualify.
Okay.
So,
that seems like a loss, doesn't it?
It does.
A waste.
It does.
Tell me about, that's the government programs, one of the programs that's offered. What about you folks at the Canadian Cancer Society? What can you do for folks?
So we are very thankful to our donors who each and every day sign checks and send in money to help us provide accommodations. Primarily, that's our flagship program. So we provide a room and meals for patients traveling into Halifax through the Lodge That Gives, and in partnership with the Sisters of Notre Dame at Holy Redeemer in Sydney, where the other cancer center is located. And in any given year, we're helping about 1,400 Nova Scotians access lodging. And if you think about what a hotel room costs, even a modest hotel room, and then meals and parking on top of that, so that's the power of what our donors are doing. On top of that, we are expanding the Lodge That Gives, so we have a $15 million capital campaign underway to add more rooms, because we are full every single night.
You see the need. Do you see or sense that government of any political stripe, any political party, being a little more receptive to this?
Well, so we've met with all three parties on numerous occasions to present this. I would say that Jamie Bailey has come out and said he will move the threshold. He was on camera saying that as recently as a couple days ago. The other two parties are certainly very aware of it, and it's been an ongoing debate point in the House for a number of years. We understand that budgets are stretched to the max. We appreciate that. But I don't think it's a huge amount of money what we're asking for. If the threshold is moved to $25,000, it's not going to cost the government millions of dollars, and it's going to make a real impact for Nova Scotians at a very, very grassroots level.
Well, it's good of you to talk to us about it today. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And now it's your turn. How far have you or a loved one had to travel for treatment? Tell us about your experiences. Call us toll-free, 866-420-4551, or email us at cbcns@cbc.ca. Please do include your first and last names. Up next, tonight's Point of View, your opinions on our stories, and a look at what's